They're some of the rarest animals on Earth. Found nowhere else but the Philippines, these creatures are evolutionary marvels, and a few are on the brink of disappearing forever. But here's the kicker. Most people don't even know they exist. So what makes them so special? Why are they found only in this archipelago of more than 7,000 islands? And what can they teach us about life, extinction, and our place in nature? Let's begin with the Philippine eagle. With a wingspan of over 7 feet and eyes as sharp as its talons, it's known as the monkey-eating eagle. But this isn't just a bird, it's a national symbol. And here's the tragic twist. There may be fewer than 500 left in the wild. Why? Because the forests it once ruled are vanishing. But every time conservationists rescue a chick or release one back into the jungle, it feels like a battle cry against extinction. Then there's the tarsier, the wide-eyed nocturnal primate that seems too small and too strange to be real. Imagine a creature that can turn its head 180 degrees and leap 6 feet into the air. It looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But what's wild is this. It's one of the oldest primates on Earth, unchanged for millions of years, and yet it's so fragile that even human touch can stress it to death. That kind of vulnerability makes you stop and think, how many other ancient beings are we letting slip away? And speaking of strange survivors, the Tamaraw, a dwarf buffalo native to the island of Mindoro, is another story of survival against the odds. Once hunted nearly to extinction, this stocky, solitary beast is now making a slow comeback. But the real twist? It's the only wild buffalo species found in the Philippines. It's not just a symbol of strength, it's living proof that protection and persistence can work hand in hand. Now let's talk about the Visayan Warty Pig. Yes, it's got a name that sounds like a cartoon character. But don't laugh, this pig is critically endangered and plays a massive role in its ecosystem. What's heartbreaking is how quickly its habitat is being replaced by farmland and towns. And when you learn that males grow these punk rock mohawks during mating season, it suddenly feels like we're watching the last act of a wild, unseen theatre no one realized was closing down. Next up, the Palawan Peacock-Pheasant. If you've never seen one, imagine a bird so dazzling it looks photoshopped. Its feathers shimmer with blues and greens, and when it fans its tail, it's like a living jewel. But here's the thing. It lives in just one part of the Philippines. One storm, one wildfire, and an entire species could vanish. That kind of fragility, that's the cost of being rare. On the flip side, the Philippine Flying Lemur, also known as the coligo, doesn't actually fly, but it glides through the forest like a shadow with wings. Evolution sculpted it into something between a squirrel, a bat, and a yoga master. Its giant eyes scan the dark while its skin flaps stretch between limbs, letting it soar from tree to tree. It's a perfect example of how life adapts in isolation, and why island ecosystems like the Philippines are so full of surprises. Another hidden gem is the Negros Bleeding-Heart Dove. Why the name? Well, because it looks like it's been shot in the chest. A splash of crimson on its white breast. But it's not blood, it's beauty. And that mark might be the only thing people remember of it because sightings are so rare some scientists feared it was extinct, until it wasn't. That rediscovery, lit a fire under conservation efforts and gave us a rare glimpse of hope. Then there's the rough-skinned newt of Luzon. It's got a rather bizarre defense. When threatened, it actually pushes its ribs out through its skin to deliver poison to anything that dares to bite it. Sounds a bit like something from a horror movie, right? But nature's creativity doesn't stop with predators. It often saves its weirdest tricks for survival. Now just picture this for a moment. An animal so small and shy, most locals have never seen one in person. The Philippine mouse deer. It looks like a deer, walks like a mouse, and, well, it could fit in a large handbag. But despite its size, it plays a huge role in forest ecology. And its reappearance after being thought extinct, that's the kind of plot twist even Hollywood couldn't write. So. And finally, the Panay monitor lizard. Sleek, intelligent, and often misunderstood, this remarkable creature was discovered only in the 2000s. It spends most of its time up in the trees, carefully avoiding human contact. But it's not just hiding. It's surviving in one of the last scraps of ancient forest on the island of Panay. Every time a tree falls there, this lizard's future dims just a little more. These creatures aren't just trivia answers or textbook footnotes, they're chapters in the story of the Philippines. Each one represents an evolutionary experiment millions of years in the making. Some are thriving in silence, others are clinging to the edge, but all of them, every feathered, furry or scaled survivor, reminds us that the most incredible stories aren't just the ones we create, but the ones we might still save.